Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Vape'n Bastard channel, and you're hanging out with the Blue Collar Bastard tonight. Tonight we have an old one that I'd like to review. It's one of my favorites. It goes really well with one of my side-by-sides that if I'm going out somewhere nice, then that's the one I like to take with me, especially if it's an outdoor venue and I'm able to vape there. That's the one I take. Now, don't get me wrong, I like my Susie, I like my C-Bot, you know, I like my billet. They're all very nice. They're all very nice. I rather enjoy every one of them. But when you need something just a little bit more elegant, this is one part of the combination that I normally take with me. And so tonight we're going to be taking a look at the BD Vapes Precisio. Now this is an older one, but we'll dive down and we'll take a look at it. All right. So tonight we're going to be taking a look at, if I could talk right tonight. Let's get a drink. All right. So tonight we're going to be taking a look at the Precisio. I think that's how you say it. That's how I've always said it. Don't mind the damage on the package. It got squished in transit, but it's just the packaging. So there's nothing really on here. I mean, you have some warning labels. You have some other stuff. You have all the information on it. Let me do this for you so you can take a look at that. It's everything that comes in the package and everything else. And believe it or not, everything that came with this originally, this is like uh 6 years old, something like that. But yeah, so everything that came with this is in this. Never got used. This was a new old stock when I picked it up. So that's pretty cool. But the packaging is actually really nifty. It's just a round cylinder. And well, you have the authentic authenticity. I apologize for my speaking tonight. I don't know what's going on, but you have the authenticity sticker here with the scratch and sniff. Never been scratched or sniffed. I don't think I want to sniff it. But we're going to break it down. Let's open it up. The packaging is really nifty. And there's instructions in there. We're going to need those. Because they do some really funny stuff. But we're going to set that off to the side for the moment. You're going to get the RTA. You're going to pull out this foam. And then you have this. What I do is I push it down. See, it's got a little lip for me pushing it down now. But this is everything that came in it. Like brand new, still sealed, never touched. Like it still has the coil in there. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me get y'all down here. It still has the coil in it. That's pretty nifty. You also have the Japanese cotton. Which is interesting. And the tri-tool, the infamous tri-tool. This one's a flathead instead of a Phillips. You have an Allen there. And that's an Allen there. So that's pretty nifty. But this is everything it would have came with. Let's switch our back up. This is everything it would have came with brand new. So that's pretty cool. So we're gonna put this back in, lay flat. Come on. That goes back in. Roll the cotton up. That goes back in. And like I said, I don't ever use any of this, so it's just going to stay right here in case I need it. But I haven't ever needed it. So I picked this up a good bit ago. And like I said, I've ran it a few times. And every time I've ran it, it's been beautiful. So now let's get back to this. This is their, we'll start on this side. This is how they recommend. Small box mod, 75 watts, perfect. Small mech mod, better with a chip, great. Big mech mod, okay, but so. Big box mod, 200 plus. And then this one. I'm not going to say that, but it says, okay, you can if you want to. They don't really suggest it. Which, I mean, this is only a 2.5 mil, if I'm not mistaken. 2.7. 2.7 mils, all this holds. Now, this is not the GT that came out not too long ago. This is the original Precisio. Now, back here, they also give you a description of what type of coils. Okay? Very small, simple coil. 20 watts. They want you to use MTLs, which I get. You know what I mean? Tiny, simple coils, 20 watts. Tiny clapping coils, super nice. And then big, simple coil, 3 ohm. No, they don't like it. And then big clapping coil. Well, you can see what they say about that. And this is the instructions that came in this. It literally, it's pretty nifty. So let's go back up a little bit and let's open this up. Tonight I'm going to be doing it on the E-Leaf Solo. And this is actually what they were talking about when it comes to the mods that they like. They'd like to see something like this, which it doesn't look bad on the Solo. It really doesn't. But we're going to be using it for something else. It's just take it apart. You're going to hold the base and twist, and it just unscrews. We'll talk about the deck here in a second. But it does have a 510 drip tip hole. I do like the 510 that it came with the smoked glass on the top, the plastic, because it matches this. To fill it, you just untwist this top, unscrew it, and it comes right off. You got 2 big kidney holes right here to fill it from. Now, that being said, let's take a look at the deck. You're probably looking at this deck and like, hey, wait a minute. That looks awfully familiar. Yeah, it looks like every other Boro bridge. Awfully familiar, right? Awfully familiar. It's because they're very similar. They're very similar. The airflow from underneath. This does not have a pin set, but it does have airflow from underneath. Your cotton's going to sit down in these little wick holes right here, and they're going to bleed in from the side right there. There's 3 little holes there. There's 3 little holes there. And tonight, I'm not just going to talk about it because the wife's birthday is coming up. We're going to go out somewhere nice. So I'm going to set this up for me to use during that time. So we're going to be doing, I'll show you the package. We're going to be doing a set of the top flights. 4.5 to 5, 2.5 inner diameter. This is what we're going to be using because it runs at a lower wattage, and that's what I'm liking. That's what I'm wanting. That's what this thing's rated for. So we have one here. Boop. Look at that. And that's what we're going to be looking at. So let's get our tools out. Let's zoom back out a little bit. And I know y'all are wondering why I take this apart every time I go to put coils in. This is what I use for when I'm building coils, because I do make my own coils. Sometimes when I feel like playing around or when I'm running my Big Mech mods, I build my own coils. Now, when I'm running my Boros and things of that nature, time-wise, patience-wise, it's better for me to purchase mine. And no, I'm not sponsored. No, I don't get paid for it. No, they don't send me free stuff. Every coil you see me put in here from them, I pay for. Don't get it twisted. But this is a flathead, so I don't know if my normal flathead will work. Let's check. Oh, it will. They're big chunky things. That's awesome. Big chunky ones. I like it. All right. So let's see here. They do have little lips. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus. All right. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Yeah, there you go. See how you have lips here? Down there where you can show it to them. But here and here, that's where your coil is going to sit in between there. And they have it on both sides. Sorry, I took a week off from filming, and all of my settings are messed up because I did some personal filming, hanging out with the kids and whatnot, and hanging out on 4th of July. So all my settings are a little wonky, but we'll get back to where we need to be. It might take me a second, but we'll get there. Come on. There we go. Finally got it to sit down. All right, let's go to the other side. We're going to push it back this way and straighten it back out to the center. Because this is a 2.5 inner diameter, and as you can see, it is close, buddy. It is close. But we're right over those holes, right where we need to be. Slam it down a little bit more, straighten it out. Let's get a little bit closer. Look at that. I don't know if I like it that close. Let's go back up just a touch. All right, that'll work for me. Look at that. Now let's trim these leads. The good thing about this is these leads stick in a little bit. I know it's probably hard to discern from the camera, but there's a nice chunky gap in between the wall and where the leads are. So we don't really have to worry about it making contact. We can cut them pretty well short. Watch your eyes. There we go. One more time. Hey! All right, we're going to go back and clean this up a little bit. Just because it's habit. And there we go. Nice and clean. And as you can see, there's nothing really sticking out, which is what we want. So we're going to go back and double check the tightness. Double check, make sure we're centered still. That looks about right. All right, so let's do this. We're going to take this down to 10. Oh, I locked it. Unlocked. All right, because these things recommend glowing them at 10 and working your way up. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to follow the directions. We're starting to glow. Hmm. Raise it up a little bit more. Try and get those heat soak contacts out. Still got a hot spot on that back corner right there. Yep, right there. There we go. Now we're starting to get from the center out. There it is. And that's at 10 watts. All right, so we're going to run this probably about 20-25. So let's take it up to 15. Watch our glow. Boom. Take it up 18. Watch our glow. Boom. Take it up 20. Boom. Oh, that's too far. 25. Boom. Now I know that says 2.6, but as soon as I see if I can do this without burning the peel side of myself. See how it went away? Screw it back on. There we go. 4.3. Boom. It's 15. Let's go up to 25. Ramp up. Look at that. Yeah. Now, this is MTL. This is what I'm going to be running it is MTL. And we're going to throw some cotton in this real quick. And we're going to be running our 2.5 ambition mods. We knew that, right? Everybody knew that. But we're going to do this one a little different. We're going to take and twist our cotton off in the end. Make our little tag end. Right? We're going to slide it through. We're just going to go in with it. A little bit of movement back and forth. Okay. And we're going to trim these off almost level with this underbase that's right here. We're going to come out a little bit. Not much. Well, see that little line that's right there? That's where we're going. Just like that. Same thing on this side. Looks like that. It should have a nice little bow tie. Something about like that. Now, we're going to take our tweezers and we're going to fluff and thin. Yes, we're going to thin this out. What I do is I'll stick my nail underneath there like that, and I'll rake it against my nail. What that's going to do is that's going to pull out all those loose fibers in that cotton. Then I'm going to go back and just trim around the original cut. Just like that. You should have a fan blade looking thing. Same thing on this side. Just take and rake it out. Something about like that. Now you got to remember you're pulling it from this side when you do that. So you got to pull it back a little bit. And then trim around the original cut. Because we want this to wick properly. So we don't want them thick. Not too terribly thick anyway. All right. Now that we've got our wicks here, we'll fluff them out once again. We're going to take and tuck them into that little hole that's down there on the bottom, that little kidney shaped hole that's on the base. Very lightly. We're not trying to pack it in there. We're just trying to make sure it all goes down in there. And all we're trying to do is very loosely fill that little kidney hole that's underneath here. See that little kidney hole that's right there? We're just trying to very loosely fill it. We're not trying to pack it. We're just trying to take up the room. Because the juice is going to make the cotton swell. And if you pack it in there, it won't wick correctly, and you'll just be burning cotton. Nobody wants to do that. Get it all in there, get it spread out. Nice and gentle like that. Should look something similar to that. You should be able to see cotton in those holes, cotton in those holes. All right. Now, we're going to be running some Event Horizon. Gourmet cannoli drizzled with a blackberry jam. This is really good. Really good. Drip it on, pulse it. Drip it on, pulse it. Hold on one second. I got some on my thing and I didn't mean to. Drip it on, pulse it. Drip it on, pulse it. Drip it on, pulse it. All right. You see how it's got bed head right now? You got all these strays everywhere. Just take and smooth them down. Let's comb our hair. Do the same thing on this side. Just comb our hair. We're not trying to pack it back down in there. We're just trying to make it look halfway decent for a date. All right. Just trying to make sure all of our hairs are smooth. Just like that. And as you can see, at 2.5, that's kind of rowdy. So we'll end up turning that down to about a 20. And it's still pretty rowdy. But now, with that done, you just take your base cap, take your base and your cap, and we just screw them together. Now, fill it, stick it through one of the kidney holes, and just blah, squeeze it in there. And since I'm not running this tonight, I will be running it probably tomorrow. I'm not going to fill it all the way up. Only because if I do have a leak, I don't want it to leak all over the place. Now, there's one thing I forgot to talk about. Well, I didn't forget to talk about it. I just moved it to the end. Let's talk about airflow. This is your airflow. You have two different options. You have wide open, which you can adjust down. If you look right there, it's wide open. You can adjust it down. You can close it off. Now, if you keep twisting, you'll come over here and then you have a reduced airflow. And you can cut that down even more. You can literally do one hole, two holes, all the holes. But for an MTL, this is what you get. And it's not a bad MTL. It's really not. Ooh, I hit the camera. Now, you're probably asking yourself, are you going to run it on the solo? Because that looks really good together. That looks like they go together. It's nice. It's pretty. No, I'm not going to run it on the solo. I like the solo, but the solo has served its time. It is done. It is just a build mod now, so it just hangs out at the house, stays on charge, and then gets used to pulse things like we did. No. What we're going to be running it in is a little more elegant. We have this. This is a side by side, and next week's video will be on this, so I'm not going to discuss this much because I don't want to spoil it. But this is what I run it on. It is rather pretty, rather elegant, very simple, beautiful design. Now, we just take this, make sure to grab it by the base when you go to take it off. Otherwise, you'll untwist the top and fluid will go everywhere. I've done that many a times. Stick it right here on the side by side, and we're going to screw it down. They have a stainless steel version of this, and that's what I was looking for. But this is the only one that come up on my feed in a while, so I scooped it up when I could. They also make a black version of this. Either way would work, but I like this. They also make a black tube that would look really good right there. But nonetheless, I digress. This is normally what I take with me. It's really pretty, really elegant. I like it. Look, it's already leaking. Because I didn't do something right. Oh no, that was just me spilling juice. My bad. That was on me. We all make mistakes. Yeah, I was just double checking. Yeah, that was on me. That was on me. Let's clean up our mess. Beautiful. All right. Now that's all cleaned up. Let's put this back on. All right. This is an 18650 mod. It's also an 18350 mod, but we'll go over that next week. Today we're discussing the Precisio. That's where we need to be. don't know if y'all can hear that. Yeah. But this is my side by side that I go out when I want to go, when I'm going somewhere nice. I want something with some weight, so I know I got it. It's something that if I drop, I'm not too worried about it breaking. Metal, 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 metal. It's all pretty sturdy. So if I do happen to be going out for drinks or something, which I don't drink, but on special occasions, I've been known to have a cocktail or two. But this is what I would take with me. As you can see, it's already been dinged up once. But that is the Precisio. Like I said, you can use your own 510 drip tips. I don't have any out and around me because I like the way this one looks, but you can use your own. If you are running a side by side, your airflow is either going to be on the side, or if you're going to use the honeycomb, it's going to be in the front. I personally run mine about right there, which is almost half open on the wide open side. And that gives me the perfect, well, perfect for me, mouth to lung airflow. Excuse me. But yeah, that's it. That's the Precisio. And not the GT, not the newest one that came out. This is one of the older ones. This came out, I think, 2019. I think. I don't really have a date on this, but yeah, I don't really have a date on this. But I think it was 2019. Everything I found on it was 2019. Yeah. So there it is. That's the Precisio. And it is 10:15 at night. So I'm going to bed. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank y'all for coming to hang out with the Blue Collar Bastard on the Vape'n Bastard channel. Don't forget I have a Patreon for this channel if you'd like to see what I get up to outside of here. I also, there's bloopers and stuff as soon as I can figure out how the video works. I'm going to start putting the bloopers on there, the outtakes and whatnot. But yeah, I'll link that down in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description. And yeah, if you like the content, hit like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I post, which is every Sunday. And sometimes I throw a hidden video in there every once in a while. It just kind of comes out, you know. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. And I will see y'all next week where we will be discussing this. And if you know what this is, if you've seen this before, or if you have one, put it down in the comments. And if you've made it this far, thank you.